Welcome to You, Me, and the Dogs, the podcast where we explore the wonderful world of dog ownership. Join me every Wednesday as my guests and I share personal stories, insights, and experiences, of course, with dogs. Today I'm having a conversation with Lisa from Woof Creek Wellness. They produce pet wellness products. So how did you guys start?
This one is the impetus for it all. Lily Lou was our pandemic puppy, and just from wanting to train her right and give her healthy boundaries, Scott, who was a chef of 30 years, did hand make treats with novel proteins and clean ingredients. And it wasn't until November of 2020 that we realized she has some major allergies. And the veterinarian that we were with at the time, and many conventional vets will go right to medications as the go-to solve, or Band-Aid, as it would be better labeled. And 3 months of chronic coughing and not sleeping, and for all of us not sleeping, of course, we were at our wits' end until New Year's Day. She was in the emergency vet. We needed to figure out if there was something stuck in her throat, like the cough was that bad. And it turned out, just Apoquel is what you need.
Apoquel, yeah.
And very quickly, Scott just started taking courses and sourcing clean medicinal mushrooms and superfoods. Lita.
Yanko.
There's a girl.
Sit. Like,
I know, I'm a treat dispenser. That was our first product, and it's still, for my girls, the most popular. Can you sit for me? Yanko, sit. Good boy. It was very quick that the two blended superfood toppers that he made solved her situation within weeks. And it was like Mother Nature answer was always there. And we're learning to this day with more and more resources with holistic vets that we're very thankful for their guidance. We're learning, we haven't even touched the surface.
Not at all.
As you know.
Yep. So do you guys still feed her, or do you guys make her food, or what's her
regimen? At the time that we started blending these superfoods and medicinal mushrooms, Scott also transitioned very quickly into raw. For a chef, this is what he loves. He loves grinding bone and researching levels and mineral count. It was so pivotal. And as we learn more and more what's in the cereal of dogs, the kibble, what's in our cereal?
I know.
The glyphosate. We're learning so much. Ignorance is bliss.
And the thing is, I know what's in the cereal. And sometimes I just, because we live such a busy life, that it's like, it's easy, convenient,
And actually, my uncle is in the next room, who's a holistic practitioner of chiropractic and now dog massage. From when I was very little, he was the black sheep of the family, vegetarian. In the 70s, you didn't do that. And I remember watching Food Inc. Do you remember that? And I called him and I was freaking out. Like, where do I start? What do I do? Monsanto and this and that. And he said, you do the best you can.
Right. Yeah.
You do the best you can with where you're at. And all of these holistic practitioners in the vet arena that we follow, like Dr. Becker and Dr. Judy Morgan and Katie Woodley, they're all wonderful in that we live busy lives. We live within a budget, but we can do the best we can. So just keep collecting information and education, and that's what Scott and I love to do, is help parents with wherever they're at.
I mean, I'm sure that when this started happening, he was like, I'm going to fix this with as much as I can.
Exactly. And he was always of that way. I call him a culinary chemist. So he's always made his own kombucha, and he's always,
oh my God, that's good.
He's fascinated by these things. He's a natural at problem solving. He loves answering issues in the kitchen. and we are what we eat. They are what they eat. As a point to, we do what we can. You know, we're extremely busy and getting busier. We're very thankful for being able to help more and more pet parents. So when Scott has had a busy week and there's nothing left of his 2-week prepped blended raw, he'll go to our trusted local natural pet store, and he'll get Viva Raw or small batch or OC Raw. There's plenty of options,
right?
And you do the best you can. Convenience is just a part of life.
Yeah, but then it takes time. You know, you gotta prep it, and then you gotta make sure it has enough liver and enough bone and enough
manganese. Yep, all the things.
And so then it's like what you thought took, I don't know, let's say I planned 3 hours. It's just like 6 hours later and you're...
Real life, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, the one thing that, you know, our human minds need is, you know, proof. And the raw feeding within 4 weeks, such a change.
No, yeah.
And no more vet visits. Well, the time and money it took, and the discomfort and the stress.
The stress on her, the stress on you, everything.
Exactly. So if it was proof in the pudding that we were looking for, we had it with her. Now, a lot of our pet parents, I'd say, so 60% of the parents are really proactive. They don't need the proof in the pudding. They see that clean living and clean eating is right by them and right by their dogs. So that's thankful. My parents, my parents' generation, it's been 100 years of feeding kibble, and from the mid-1800s, how it's never been questioned.
Right.
And if we can make little dents in that mindset as we saw the pivotal improvement, then we'd love to help do that. Like you're doing
exactly.
with your
podcast.
I
mean, it's so easy. I do this Tuesday tip where it's like, you eat this, right? You eat red peppers or you eat whatever. You could just chop a little bit and put it on their food.
I saw
It's not that hard. Or like spinach or...
the end of a broccoli that you're going to throw out anyway. Blend it. And she does not love vegetables. We blend it.
Yeah, and it's wonderful. What mushrooms could do. Just simple, like let's just stay in the mushroom realm, you know, like lion's mane. And you would think they're the same, right? Because they're mushrooms, but they're not.
They're magic.
Yeah,
they're not the magic mushrooms that you and I would think, but they are the beta glucans, that what they do to the gut. It's really just Mother Nature already has our back.
Exactly.
And now we're learning about what we can use. And they love the taste, the umami flavor, that meaty essence is what they crave anyway.
No, and you guys put pork liver. I mean,
Scott always has his mind thinking of new ways and new aspects to improve our products and to guide people to other supplements, even if we don't carry them. It feels really awesome to be able to help when we needed this kind of help and we felt
alone.
And the white noise out there, there's so much information. We don't know who or what to believe when our even in our personal medical lives, you have to question, and it's frustrating.
So what was the first product you guys created?
The stress and anxiety and the allergy and immunity. So this has the grass-fed pork liver and Mitake shiitake lion's mane.
Mm-hmm.
It's got New Zealand green lip mussel, Boswellia serrata, and at the start we were doing every day, and when we came up to the 4-week mark, there was such a pivotal change improvement-wise that we went down to half at that point. This 3 years ago, we're at once a week.
Wow.
And we just
no flare, no nothing.
No, I mean, there will be a flare when there's like Hurricane Ian last year.
Right.
We definitely upped it, the stress. We do that for every firework holiday, and thunderstorm season, we'll up it to half dose, but 1/7 of the amount. And then we rotate through all of our toppers, our gut, our hip and joint. We have our flea and tick, which that was a heart attack a year and a half ago when I read and understood about the isophyllines.
So they try to scare you. You live in Florida, there's mosquitoes everywhere. They're going to bite him and he's going to die of heartworm, and that's a very hard recoup. And
it is very hard. Back to what I was saying about the white noise and who to trust, what to trust. I actually thought I knew everything there was to know about heartworm, and I learned from Dr. Katie Woodley, who goes by the Natural Pet Doctor, by the way. So if anyone wants to look her up, she's tremendous. Heartworm is not something that many holistic vets, including Dr. Woodley, Dr. Judy Morgan, will mess with. So they recommend staying on a course and then using clean, detoxifying ingredients. But what a wonderful feeling to be off the flea and tick. We've been off Simparica for a year and a half. We also added a spray. We're doing a market tomorrow, so I'm kind of... Well, I have an unlabeled spray. And Scott still hasn't... You're really seeing the inner workings. Yeah. But this is our flea and tick spray. And if you...
I think...
Halima has it. Yeah. Yeah.
She was spraying.
And it works for us too. And it's so...
It's actually nicer than like the other stuff you can buy.
We think so. Like that's what we did. We took a bit of Dr. Karen Becker's recommendation. Scott, he did not put lemon because he didn't want the photo toxic aspect since we're in Florida. He made it so it's palatable to us and them. The spray misting sensation they don't love.
Right.
So we put it on our hands and massage it in.
Okay.
That's what we do.
This is what a real business looks like.
I guess.
A small business at home looks like.
Yes.
Because my home looks kind of like that.
Yeah, you do with what you can. The space.
Exactly.
Space. Lily is not going to be happy about this. You're so darn sweet. You're so cute. Oh, I'll take you.
So where do you guys source your stuff?
Our medicinal mushrooms are from the most reputable. Namex is the parent company of Real Mushroom, and we trust them so much. It's one of the cores of all our products. Everything she does, we try for local first. Definitely domestic. And he's been doing that aspect for 30 years anyway. So.
Exactly. So when I started fresh food, I started learning, okay, well, sourcing is a big thing.
Yeah.
And some people will lie to you and tell you, like ranchers and farmers and stuff, saying it's grass-fed, but it's really not.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
It's hard to know who and what to trust. And then grass-fed doesn't mean grass-finished.
No, exactly. Yeah.
So you really, education, and it's boggling how much more there is to learn.
Yeah. So I spoke to someone about it because they were like, we buy grass-fed. And I was like, oh, really? You do? Okay, well, all cattle is grass-fed. It's how they finish it. Yep. All right. So, and then they were like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, then depending on who's purchasing the cattle, or they might feed it corn, or they might feed it a mix of this and that, Or
the goats, or yeah.
And so there goes your grass fed.
Lily, go fight in here, because the Inca doesn't do that. Okay, Inca, go fight. All right. Now, literally, we got Layla for Lily. Lily, standard poodles, we did not know, are so active. It was at that time we started the company just for clean treats, and we couldn't keep up with that and giving her the correct amount of attention and energy outlet. I was biking her miles a day. I was doing everything I could and still running the business. Couldn't keep up. I hunted for Layla, her adopted sister, for like, 4 months, because you have to apply, and once you find that rescue or the rehome,
they have to come to the house.
All
Did
of
they
the
do?
things.
Yeah.
But then you've lost it because someone else got selected. It was a lot, and we luckily found Layla. They were the right energy match. I don't know. I cannot imagine life without her sister. If we didn't have a second pup, she would not be the same level of contentment. Mm-hmm. I mean, active breeds, you know?
Yeah. No, I understand. I would love a second one, but
you have a playmate come and visit often, right?
Yeah, I do.
That's really lucky.
So he is trained as a service dog, but he, against, I guess, our trainer, he does go, but we go really early and we have the same pack. It's the same. Like if we see someone that we don't know, we're like,
that is proper socialization. You know the parent, you know the dog, you know their level and boundaries.
Right.
And
we all became friends. I would watch their dogs, they would watch my dog, and I have no problem. Yeah,
I love it.
And it's the community of dog parents, I think, that is a wonderful thing.
Absolutely. And so at markets, we do a lot of farmers markets. That's actually how we even are today because of that organic growth. And people bringing pups to the markets and understanding that's how you socialize an animal. And I've learned so much since the beginning of the overwhelm and overstim that a pup can experience by that incorrect definition of socialization. The level of finicky, selective play date making and very quiet baby steps into adjusting your pup to the environment, that is what I wish everyone, including myself from at the beginning, could have known.
It's all these studies and like even experiments. Like I was so fascinated by, I told another friend, I want him to be in raw, but he doesn't like it, right? And just doing these steps of like teaching him, you could pick whatever protein you want. I do all these exercises with him where like he has the choice, right?
That's amazing.
And it's just
it's like selecting herbs or herb garden for cats and dogs.
Yeah. Like
very cool.
He's
a lucky boy.
Yeah. And I think every dog owner could do that.
I volunteer with Southeast Guide Dogs, and to become a puppy raiser or puppy sitter, I went through that training, and kind of back to the socialization, it just came to mind. Their rules and regulations of what you can and can't do with their superheroes in training. You can't go to storefronts that are open. You can only go at closed hours and quiet times of day. Right. You cannot ever go to a dog park unless you're meeting at a fenced area that you know that person or it's a fellow guide dog. Mm-hmm. It's
right, because depending on the dog, it could influence him.
Absolutely. And it's like even in a household, so we were going to have our first with our girls, but Layla, who's not here right now because we know she's randomly selective with other dogs. They literally give different rules to their guide dogs in the first 18 months in the puppy raiser's house. So your family dogs could be up on the couch and sleep with you, but those guide dogs will never be able to. And they're fine with that distinction. They have to learn it anyway. It's just so fascinating. I'm learning so much, and I love all the things that are imparted to me. I'm able to make their lives better.
Did you guys start as a treat company or?
Yeah, it was just treats. We did novel proteins, and
Like dehydrated or
And
freeze-dried.
freeze-dried
Yeah.
duck and rabbit with blueberry, and salmon with flaxseed, and really like clean, no fillers. It was that when she needed next level help, that since Scott had already sourced these cleaner ingredients, he's like, I know that there's more we can do, and skip the steroids and Cytopoint and Apoquel. And they were recommending trazodone for her because of the allergies and her lack of sleep and her anxiety. It was disheartening. She actually was my emotional support dog. We got her because of COVID, because the 3 teenagers were now e-learning, and it was a really bad time for everyone. I am I'm better for myself because of her, because I want to take care of them appropriately. But she's not my emotional support as much as I am stronger for her and Layla, right?
Yeah.
And that has become the emotional support for me.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you want to know more about our guests, read the show notes down below. Please hit the subscribe button if you liked us, and it would be even better if you would leave us a review. See you next Wednesday.